Hello from HB Gadget Hacks. Today, as promised, I'm going to do a second benchmark video on the NexusHD Gingerbread version 2.4 NAND ROM. I have overclocked it now to 1.5. I'm not sure about the name of the kernel, but it's something like Rafpigna. I've used version 1.8, the Gingerbread version, because I tried 1.9 and my scores weren't really any better than it was with the 1.1 kernel that came with the ROM. So I tried some different kernels, and like I said, 1.8 Gingerbread turned out to be the best for me. It might vary from person to person, but first we're going to run Quadrant. Seems to be the most standard. And I must mention, even though I wasn't getting better quadrant scores with 1.9 Gingerbread of this particular kernel, it did seem snappier. I didn't have it on long enough to judge battery life because, like I said, the scores were the same or less than it was with the kernel that's packaged with the ROM. So I did a little bit of experimenting, and so far this has been the best. I've had this as high as 1429 on Quadrant, which isn't bad. It's above the Nexus one, but I've also had some lower ones, so we'll see how this turns out. Just to give you an idea, I mean, it's ran anywhere between the 1100s to 1400s, so let's see what we got. 1205 this time, so I mean, I guess it's hit or miss. But I'm not as pleased with this kernel on this ROM as I was with others. Run a couple lim packs, but I promised I would do the videos. So 39713, 40499, and 40558. So about the same actually as the 1.1 overclock kernel that came with it. Like I said, I'm not seeing those huge of improvements. 1.8 seems to be giving me the best numbers, but still not all that great. We'll run Smart Bench here and see what we get. So, I mean, not saying anything bad about the ROM, but still I seem to get better quadrant scores with the GPC Gingerbread running the same kernel. I think it was a little bit lighter. But this is a more completely fully baked ROM too, I guess. And like I said, they're still working on it, so nothing against the ROM. It looks to be going through Smart Bench 2011 a little quicker. Or a little more quickly, I guess I should say. And I'm also using HTC now, which I don't know if that's making a difference because I've never used it on any of the ROMs before, but I wanted to make an exact copy of my G2, like everything on this phone, and the storage space is not the same, so I used an HTC program on this. I guess we'll find out in the future because I'm going to run tests with and without. And let's see what we get here. If Smart Bench doesn't crash. There we go. 1545 on your productivity index and 906 on game index. I do not remember the score on the other for the game index, but I do know that it's slightly higher on the productivity index. So let's run FPS 2D. And right away you're noticing we're still getting a lot of frame rate drop off in this for some reason. I'm not sure why. That's actually the highest I've seen on anything. Except for maybe my old My Touch. 56 is our average, so same as before. Let's run Nina Mark next. 21.5, I believe that's exactly on par with the old one, which doesn't surprise me. It's graphical benchmarks, so I didn't expect a world of difference there. I guess I'm just still amazed at the wonderful scores I got with GPC's Gingerbread. So now we're going to run Neocore, which is Qualcomm's Adreno GPU benchmark. .6, I believe that's also on par. So like I said, I promised I would make the video. I'm not getting that much better scores than I was with the other overclock kernel, and my battery life, I imagine, will suffer. Actually, I've already noticed that the heat on the phone is already turned up. Sorry, didn't mean to hit that, which I've had it all the way turned up for some benchmarks, so I don't normally run it turned all the way up like that, just when I do benchmark videos. I mean, try some different overclock kernels if you want. The one that was with it actually gave me decent scores, so I mean, stick with it if you want to try this ROM. I would suggest it worked perfectly fine. I just like to get absolutely as much out of something as I can. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks.